This is Richard Fowler. I'm John Kilpatrick with Okolana Aikido, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. And for the last few videos we've made, we've been looking at these Aikido Jo Katas. And there are 3 katas that we really practiced in the clubs that I was in, and I put my versions of those up on the internet. And all of those katas started with you having the Jo extended, and then you came here, parried, and thrust. And a lot of times those are just done by dropping the Jo here and then thrusting. But in one of the videos I saw with Saito, he suggested that what that really was this movement. So that's what I started doing. And so if he's thrusting at me and I do that movement, see, my lead comes here and I'm trading this end for the other end of the Jo, and that is not as good a lead as I would like. So what we realized is that if he thrusts and I bring this up like this, then this lead keeps pulling him. So that works really well. So what we do is we bring this up and then I pivot out of the way. Now, of course, we want to add more to it, and we want to add protection. So I bring this up between us, and then I shift and bring this in. So I bring this up and shift, and this is not a parry that I'm doing. I bring this up, I'm leading, and I pivot around. Now, there's a strong tendency when we pivot around here to want to hit his Jo or come up and hit his Jo. If you make a jerky movement when you're trying to lead, that attracts the attack, and so your lead won't work nearly as well. I want him to follow the Jo here, but if I jerk this, then that jerking movement of my body gets his attention back on my body. So that can be a real disaster. So what we're going to do, bring this up, then I pivot, and then I'm going to thrust, and this is going to be my strike, and you can thrust at the face or throat or something, or you can drop down and thrust at the groin, or you can drop down and thrust up at the throat. So all of those are very good strikes. And so the way we practice this, another thing about this, when you're doing the kata, you can only do this movement to one side. But when you're doing what we're talking about here, we can bring this up and come to this side, or we can bring this up and come to this side. So you can do it either way. And so the way we like to practice it would be, and I just do this by myself first, so is, this can be to either side, but I bring this up, pivot out of the way, then I thrust, and I'm dropping my weight on my front foot. Then I bring my back foot up, strike, then I bring my foot up, strike, and then I change ends and bring my foot up and strike again, coming up under probably his neck, it could be his groin. So that gives us 4 different strikes. It gives us a strike coming down, a strike, a shomanuchi coming down, a ski from a low position, and then coming up into his throat from a low position, sweeping upward. So now if we do that with a partner, and we have about our right Jo length here, so if I'm in this position and he strikes, I'm here, and then I can strike down, I can strike here, and then I would strike here, and then stab, and then strike up into his neck. So those are our 4 strikes. And we can do that also going to the other side. So if he strikes, I'm here, and then strike, 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 strike. So we can practice our different moves that way.